General Lee didn't come here, put his finger on the map, point out the Antietam Creek and say, I intend to fight here. No, no, no. This is pure happenstance. It's completely because of confrontation of two moving armies that just happen to move and lodge against each other right here. You see that mountain off in the distance, way out there, way out there? That is, as Gary pointed out, South Mountain. That's almost Pennsylvania. And that's where Lee's going. We were going to Pennsylvania. Maryland was just a pass through. We're going to Pennsylvania. We don't make it. George McClellan blocks Lee here, stops Lee here, and we don't make it. To the mountain you see in the distance, that's South Mountain. The Antietam is flowing in this direction from north to south towards the Potomac River. McClellan's army is on the other side of the Antietam. It's like a moat between the two armies. So as long as McClellan stays over there, Lee can march right on into Pennsylvania. So on the morning of the 17th, a couple of things are going to happen. Either Lee is going to retire from here, leave, and go back to Virginia. Virginia is very close. Today, West Virginia, Shepherdstown, we're only 3 miles from the Potomac River in Shepherdstown. Lee could go home. That's a good option. We can't get into Pennsylvania. We've been blocked, so let's just go back to Virginia and reorganize. Lee says, got my fight up. How dare you pursue me? How dare you defeat me at South Mountain? Lee's first battlefield defeat. And so Lee says, we're going to fight. So let's bring it on. Kind of like two heavyweights. Just say, we're going to go 15 rounds. Lee's brought reinforcements in. Now, as you look this direction, we're looking at Harper's Ferry. That mountain you see in the distance finishes at Harper's Ferry, where the Potomac River cuts through the Blue Ridge. And that's where much of Lee's army has been up until this point, but they're hurrying up here. They're rushing up here, trying to reunite Lee and bring the force together. And so the first reinforcements are under Stonewall Jackson, and those reinforcements Lee's going to position like this on his vulnerable flank. So when McClellan attacks that morning, you're not going to breach me. You're not going to turn my flank. I've got Stonewall Jackson, the Stonewall, holding this position. And so as a result, McClellan's men are going to be hammered as they advance from the woods in the distance, the East Woods, and they advance across what's known as the famous cornfield, the D.R. Miller cornfield. And it becomes very bloody as they engage with Jackson and Jackson's men who have come up from Harper's Ferry and are standing in this area. So we're in the Confederate position, this high ground that you see here, and the idea is hold this high ground. There's going to be federal assault after federal assault. We're going to have Joe Hooker with his Union First Corps bringing in division after division after division. We've got Joe Mansfield with the Union 12th Corps coming with his 2 divisions. 4 of those 5 divisions are going to attack from the East Woods across the cornfield, and Lee's going to hold, but barely hold. We look off to our right and rear. We have behind us in our rear, also 3,000 Union soldiers.
And we're hundreds.
Hundreds.
Okay.
So think of it as we're pinched.
Yes.
We're pinched. If we stay, we're done.
Imagine the chaos of the moment. You're trying to shoot down. I see Union troops coming across. The Union troops getting across are now under cover of the hill, and I see more coming across. Who do I shoot at? And then I hear Union huzzahs and shooting going on behind me. We have one option, and that is to escape the pincher.
I mean, your other option is death.
Yes.
Or capture.
Yes.
And so remember, think of this as an outpost. You can lose this position, you're not going to lose the line.
Right.
And so even though we lose the position, we will withdraw, and we will withdraw this way to higher ground, almost a mile from here, to the Harper's Ferry Road position, where we then will await more Confederate reinforcements, more men coming up from Harper's Ferry.
Yes, indeed. So we know that much. We know that the Union force that crosses here isn't done. Okay, but we're going to go up toward the Harper's Ferry Road. We're going to put together as strong of a line as we can. And eventually, it's going to take a couple of hours. I mean, you try to move 9,000 troops across that bridge along with all the cannons and everything they need for war, and then array them for battle, a lot of new troops among them, and then launch this attack. So we have a couple hours to get ready. And, you know, Robert Toombs, trying to get his day of glory, is ready for this day. A lot of the Confederate artillery is up there. It's the worst ground at Antietam is probably right behind us over there. It's this area and right behind. Very cut, very difficult. And before long, in what we now call the final attack, the Confederates are going to try to slow down the Union troops, but without much success. The Union juggernaut moves on toward us.
Too many.
Okay? But
too many Union men.
But I think that at some point, some Confederates must have looked southward and seen a dust cloud.
And here comes A.P. Hill. The Harper's Ferry people once again coming to Lee's rescue. We've seen it time and again today. Jackson came to Lee's rescue in what became the fight around the cornfield in the East Woods, Jackson's men. Then we see McLaws coming up from Harper's Ferry to help save the day in the West Woods. And now we see A.P. Hill, which was the last of the Confederate divisions that was still there, marching all day, starting about 7:30 that morning, a true forced march on dusty roads in Virginia, crossing the Potomac River, bringing their artillery with them, and many of them without any shoes, and they are positioned just at the right moment by Lee, because watch this, Burnside, I'm going to put my back to you because Burnside, here comes Hill. There's Hill. Burnside's advancing like this, and Hill comes right in on his flank and collapses the
Then I am reminded I've never been forsaken. I've never had to stand the test alone. As I look at all the victories, the Spirit rises up in me. It's through the fire my weakness is made strong. He never offered victory without fighting, but he said help would always come in time. Just remember when you're standing in the valley of decision and the adversary says give in, just hold